name is David Finnie. I'm a BigFix technical advisor based out of Denver, Colorado. Today I just wanted to do a quick video about detecting and remediating the Confluence vulnerability utilizing BigFix. If there's any questions from what I covered today, you'll see my email there in both QR form and the plain text form. So again, don't hesitate to reach out if you do have questions from this content. Okay, a quick note about BigFix and who we are. BigFix is a solution that's brought by HCL. BigFix basically allows us to manage endpoints near real time, so constantly being in a position to notice, but also being in a constant position to influence. So it's the industry's leading endpoint management platform. Okay, and to expand a bit more into what BigFix is capable of doing, we'll start at the top there. BigFix is able to discover and enroll endpoints into BigFix management. We have quite a bit of automation that you can accomplish with BigFix. That could be anything from content distribution to hardening endpoints to meet, CIS checklists or other compliance checklists that we do have available to the environment. We also do have the ability to automate patching and also maintaining the configuration with our compliance module as well. We have the ability to manage systems kind of regardless of where they are. You'll see that we have quite a bit of platforms that we support there that you see in the center, but where those devices are really doesn't matter. They could be on the local area network, they could be in the cloud. I also call out that we also do have mobile support, so you see iOS, Android, iPadOS, all the above is perfectly capable to be managed by BigFix. We do have very strong integration with many of the other market leading products such as ServiceNow, Tenable, Qualys, QRadar, and honestly quite a bit more. We do have a really strong capability against performing some of the correlation efforts from the vulnerability scanners there, Tenable and Qualys, and so that'll save you quite a bit of time letting BigFix do that work for you. I know we mentioned a little bit about the security checklists. You'll see a couple other examples there, so PCI DSS, DISASTIG, CIS compliance. This makes it's kind of the easy button to begin reporting against those different checklists and ultimately remediating them. And then last, we also do have the ability to represent the data that BigFix is kind of bringing to the table there for analysis. So we could see how we're doing in patching trends, any kind of historical data, and kind of create any kind of version of reporting that would be meaningful to those that are working to manage it. Okay, just to talk a little bit about this Confluence vulnerability. You'll see the CV ID right there at the center of the screen. Basically, this vulnerability, which you could tell that by the published dates, it's a pretty recent discovery, but in a nutshell, basically it's a injection vulnerability basically that exists that allows for unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary code on those Confluence server or data center instances. You'll see there's some very specific version information that's tied to that. So that's what we're going to look at on how we set up the discovery points for that, as well as the remediation. Show this forum article here. This is one that I'll make sure gets posted with the video, the link to this. But essentially what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're actually going to bring in some signature files there. You're going to actually see that bigfix.me. That's actually where the signature files are, and I'll show that here in just a minute. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and download those new signature files. We're going to bring them into BigFix inventory. Once that's there, that'll trigger a catalog update to the systems managed by BigFix inventory. And then ultimately what we'll do is we'll either let the original scans that are set up with BigFix inventory take place, or we run one on demand and then import that data, and we'll know exactly where those vulnerabilities are. And then from there, we can go ahead and talk about the remediation side. But next, let me go ahead and show you quick about the bigfix.me article here. Okay, next I just wanted to kind of show the contents of the bigfix.me area for this type of content. You see I just simply did a search against Confluence in the bigfix.me site. For those that don't know, bigfix.me is kind of the greater community collection of content. This is where we post things such as signatures, or it could be very common use items such as different properties, different fixlets that are able to accomplish what most admins are after. So it's a very great resource for those BigFix admins. But you'll see there you got the signature files there, and I've gone ahead and downloaded those, and you'll see those towards the bottom of the screen. We'll be using those to actually import into the BigFix inventory server next. Okay, so actually going into the BigFix inventory console, you see I've got mine pulled up here. Following the forum article here, we'll basically go to catalog customizations, and from there you'll see this import. We're going to go and choose the files, and you'll see this 3 signature files there. Obviously you can only do the one at a time, so we're going to upload that one, import that, and essentially that's the process to go ahead and kind of get them set in and actual imported in. From there, that'll go ahead and execute the catalog update, and then we can start working from the direction of getting those actual scans to run on those endpoints once the catalog's been updated, and then run an import, and we'll have our detection set up. Okay, and I just wanted to show this. This is actually from Confluence, basically describing the vulnerability as they've seen it obviously themselves as well. And they talk about the different versions that are affected and the fixed version. So basically the way that this seems to be kind of set up, you'll see that they are calling this out as a critical security vulnerability here. And the way we can actually remediate this is actually just updating the actual services associated. That is one method. And so you'll see that, but there is a temporary workaround, and you'll see that notated here. Again, I'll make sure that this link gets into the video as well. Essentially what we're going to go ahead and work with here is basically you're going to be basically downloading the correct.jar file, the one that doesn't have the vulnerability present. And essentially what we're going to do is, with the discovery information we have in BigFix inventory, we can figure out exactly where we need to run this, or some other relevance detections that we can set up for this as well. But basically what we're doing is we're going to delete or move to this this actual old .jar file. I would probably say that probably deleting it probably is the most recommended method for this. As you'll see, it says don't leave this in any of the actual directories. So but in any case, we'll go ahead and actually set up to the idea of basically deleting it, and then from there you're going to go ahead and actually send the new file into that directory that it can work with. Just make sure you obviously got to shut down the Confluence server before you go ahead and actually delete the old vulnerable jar file, and then replace it, and then you can start the Confluence server back up just the same. Okay, I just wanted to talk conceptually how I would actually do the remediation. More the workaround method than upgrading the actual software. I'm confident that we can absolutely probably handle that with BigFix too, but without being an expert on Confluence, I don't want to toss my hat in that ring. But essentially, for the deletion side of things, I did wanted to mention that the action script itself could have been ran in SH or PowerShell. Real easy way to stop a service and delete a file, and then ultimately moving the file there. You can actually do that a couple different ways. In the beginning of this job, you can kind of set up like a software distribution. Just kind of give you an example. It's just a standard, prefetch clause, nothing special there to actually get the file down there. We just gotta get it basically uploaded into BigFix to go ahead and do that. So it'd be a prefetch line just like this, and then essentially we would start the job with stopping the actual Confluence server, deleting the vulnerable actual jar file, and then basically we can set up moves in the actual job itself to go ahead and actually place the file where it needs to be, and then ultimately start it back up, be it SH or PowerShell. One other note too, you could also stage the file ahead of time, doing like say for example, if I used Web UI, I can actually check a box here and go ahead and actually just do a quick administration. I'm sorry, it's actually configuration to send a file. And then from there, we're able to go ahead and actually target devices, send those files, stage them ahead of time, and then we can use them that way if we don't want to embed the software distribution side in the actual job to go ahead and clear that. So a lot of ways to move that new file to the system that we ultimately want to do the workaround on. And then ultimately we can go ahead and actually execute the rest of it, utilizing PowerShell or SH. So it should be a pretty easy remediation. Okay, I just thought I should mention if you're new to BigFix but want to try it out, you do have the email at the beginning of this video. You'll see it at the end as well, but we do also have a free trial page that you're able to use. So if you want to check it out, just go and fill out the information and click Start Free Trial, and then from there we'll be in contact with you to go ahead and get that set up. Okay, and I just wanted to say thank you again for your time today. If you have some interest in BigFix, go ahead and drop us a line. We'd be happy to show you around. And those existing BigFix users, hope this video today was helpful. Thanks again.